Today's session is going to be another pop culture love segment. And in today's pop culture love segment, I'm going to be talking about The Shy, produced and created by Lena Waithe. It's a coming of age story. It's about culture, about community in the South Side of Chicago. And this has been a long time coming. I've wanted to talk about The Shy for a very long time. I love the show, don't get me wrong, but I am happy that the 8th season is going to be its last season, okay? So just like The Walking Dead, if you've ever seen that show, it's an example of a show that ran on for way too long, but also the show promoted struggle love way too much for me. So let's get into it. In today's pop culture love segment of The Shy, I'm going to be talking about how I feel about some of the relationships in the show, obviously, because this channel is all about love. I'm going to talk about some actors that I loved throughout the show who absolutely lit up the screen. And I'll also be talking about some moments in the show that frustrated me so much, really blew my mind and made me so mad to the point where I was like, okay, I'm glad this show is ending.
Speak your soul. Speak your soul. Just let it go. Let it go. Speak your soul. Speak your soul. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Alright, let's break down some of the relationships. So I want to start with Emmett and Tiff. I am so happy that Emmett and Tiff did not work out. Every time they were on my screen, they were just irritating, excuse me. They were always arguing, fussing. They even tried to bring third parties, if you will, into their relationship. Now, what I did appreciate about Emmett and Tiff's relationship is that we saw that Emmett did have the capacity to actually marry someone, but you know, Emmett, and I'll probably get into this later, had just a whole lot of baggage. There was a whole lot going on. He even accused Tiff of his son not being his son, you know, Emmett Jr. Like, I don't know if you remember early on in the seasons where they were arguing in the shoe store, where he's accusing her of sleeping with other people. They did not light up my soul when they got on the screen ever. So I just did not like Emmett and Tiff together. They really tried. And then Tiff was really petty and terrible when she tried to really test Emmett if he was faithful and loyal to Keisha in later seasons. Like, Tiff as a character, for 100 different reasons, I wish I could cover it all in this session, just got on my nerves. She was not my favorite character of the show, I will admit it. But I will segue into her and Rob. I think that Rob was the greatest thing that happened to Tiff. He offered her a safe space, a lot of comfort. She was trying to fight him all the time. He offered her the most stability, and he didn't have to question her, and he could really set her straight without really being argumentative or a horrible person. It was probably, we understand probably why Rob was calm all the time, right? But that's why, and this is not one of the reasons that frustrated me the most about the show, but I will admit that I was very sad when we lost Rob, because I'm like, now Tiff is unstable again. But looking or comparing Tiff and Emmett to Tiff and Rob, like I said, I just will always believe that Tiff is just the problem. No matter what, she could have stability, she could have great things going on. She's just an attitudinal person. Sometimes Keisha, you know, could be too, but arguably Keisha had a lot more going on in her life, a lot of reasons to feel unsafe, to feel unstable. She was kidnapped, she was harmed. You know, we know what happened to her. I don't want to get, you know, in trouble for saying anything wrong with the channel, but Tiff, or excuse me, Keisha did go through a lot, but Tiff just seemed to be just a really unhappy person. And I'm just curious in season 8 how she is going to, raise a baby without, the grandmother no longer being there, the father. We do have uh, Vic, who clearly he is starting to catch hard feelings for her. I don't know what's going to become of those two, especially since he might have to go back to jail, which eventually I'll get into that too, because I was like, what? Like, people can't be happy for just one episode. But anyway, the next relationship that I want to talk about is Bakari and Lene. And actually, let me take that back. Let me make sure that I'm very perceptive. I mean, Tiff was being cheated on, so I understand why she was angry all the time and said, like, Emmett was just doing her dirty. Like, he was being really wild. But at the end of the day, at some point, you choose to stay or you don't. And then when you get a better man who's treating you properly, you have to rest in that and be comfortable in that. So I just wanted to say that before we move on to Bakari and Lene. So I believe that Bakari and Lene make a beautiful couple. I love seeing them every time they pop up on my screen, but obviously Bakari is involved in the street life and Lene is trying to save him. But what did J. Cole say? Don't save her or don't save him. He don't want to be saved. And he's trying to write his book. He's trying to progress. I'm happy that, he may have a way out of the streets, but Lene's character is so relatable because we all have been or have seen a young woman just trying to save a guy, trying to believe in his potential, trying to believe that he can do better, but he just gets tugged back into the wrong situations or the wrong lifestyle. And obviously the advice for Lene would be like, girl, leave him alone, get away from him. But Lene is very young. She's a baby. Unfortunately, she may have to learn the hard way, or maybe we can have hope that Bakari will choose a better life. But we know how the shy goes. Like, I'm hoping that in, season 8, Bakari can make it out, do something better, and finally get his book to where he needs it to be. But we know how this ends up. If a person doesn't automatically kind of come living the right lifestyle or doing the right things, it can be very hard to try to change them. You cannot change a person. They have to change themselves. They have to want to do it for themselves. So we're going to see what becomes of these two. Once again, they're a beautiful couple, but this is a very struggle of type criteria. This is a struggle right here. So was Emmett and Tiff, all that arguing, all that back and forth. It's just like, we need healthy relationships. And now I'm going to segue into Dom and Jamal, which is like, I mean no harm. They were just the most pointless couple of the show. Couple come on your screen and you're just like, y'all just doing stuff. This is so random. Like, don't get me wrong, I think that Lala is a beautiful woman. I'd love to see her get paid right, but like, I just never thought her character had to be a thing. From her getting with Emmett and his daddy, which am I going to talk about that later? It may not be worth talking about, but we'll see how I feel by the time this all wraps up. But Dom and Jamal, they were so random. They were rushing. They got married. They barely knew each other. And you should figure out if you want kids together or not before getting married. This is an idea where you iron things out. You really see if you can build a life together and have those important conversations. Then Jamal, excuse me, got shot while delivering pizza. Like, what is this? I just, I'm like, did we really need to be introduced to Lene's brother? Yes, she talked about him throughout the show, and I was curious about him, but I just, yeah, I'm happy that, Dom and Jamal, we did get some important conversations out of them. Like, yeah, really figuring out what legacy means, what it means, or the reasons why you want kids, or, the conversation of celibacy came. So I do believe that the writers are strategic in what conversations or what relationship topics they choose to include. But Dom and Jamal just are an example of a couple. They just don't seem to progress the show along to me. They don't help thicken the plot. They just seem really random, not natural. I don't know if they seem charismatic to me. I just don't know. They seem random. But let me know if I'm being too harsh. Maybe you all really are rooting for Dom and Jamal. Maybe you like seeing Lala and Big Mensa on your screen. I don't know. Let me know. And of course, y'all know I have to talk about Keisha and Emmett. So Burgundy Baker and Jacob Lattimore, they look beautiful together. I'm always happy to see them on my screen. Their connection was always about friendship first. They were friends before anything first. They could talk to each other about anything, have hard conversations, which is why I see why they ended up in a relationship together. I mean, and then the chemistry is everything. However, I was not happy about the love triangle. What did Lynn Whitfield say? She was like, this is in the Black Ghetto Brady Bunch, or whatever she said. So I wasn't happy about the love triangle. I was not happy that Keisha and Tiff were friends, and then Keisha got with Emmett. And can we talk about it? I really liked Christian. Christian was going to accept Keisha through trauma, but then I understand what's also dangerous about getting with someone while you are getting over a traumatic experience. Because do you really like the person for who they are, or is it like, oh, they can help heal me, they'll be willing to accept me, so I'll get with them? And you really can't force chemistry or a connection. And Keisha's heart obviously was always with Emmett. And I was also happy to find out, not that I'm happy that Keisha's son is Nux, not that that's a great revelation either, but I'm happy that he's not the predator's kid. Okay. That was a brave and bold decision that Keisha made to keep the baby, even, not knowing at the time that the baby was not the predator's child. So there's just a lot to talk about with Keisha and Emmett. I'm not going to make this exhaustive, but I do want to talk about one more point, that Emmett, please marry Keisha. I understand that it was not a great choice to try to get with her after he got shot, and he's like, oh, I almost lost my life, so I might as well propose to you. Like, that wasn't the right space, time, or sentiment. However, it's like, she's carrying your child now. In season 8, I need to see them get married. You have a house together. She's taking on all of your other children. Let's promote marriage the way that we did with Darnell and Jada, which I will get to in just a moment. Alright, so a reoccurring theme in the Shy is always forgiveness, right? And Darnell and Jada is their relationship is the strongest example of that. We can see where Emmett got his ways from, right? So, like, Emmett, just like his daddy, is a player from the Himalayas, and it took them some time, both of them, to mature and for them to commit to ultimately the woman who was always going to be in their best interest. Darnell, he's one of my favorite characters on the show. He's had the most growth. We've seen him become very emotionally intelligent. I am so sad. And please, this segment is going to be filled with some spoiler alerts. Do not come here if you have not been all caught up. Please don't do it to yourself. But we see how supportive he has been when he finds out that Jada's cancer came back, but he married her, bought her a house. He just really gives grown man energy throughout the show. Gives his son some good advice throughout the show. We see him being an active father, and I just love Darnell and Jada on the screen. I loved when they dressed up as Whitney and Bobby, which is probably not the best example of love that's not toxic, but it was very cute. I loved how they loved each other. I love how soft they were with each other and honest and raw, and I just really like his character arc throughout the show. Funny, can't go anywhere without his Bluetooth, okay, without his earpiece. But I really loved seeing Darnell and Jada on the screen, and him admitting, he just was not ready for her. He had a lot of growing to do. He had to be more mature to be ready to receive the woman that she is. And kind of like Jada, like Keisha, right, did not come to the table with at least as much baggage as the men that they chose, right? Keisha just had one son out of Emmett's, 3, 4? Oh my goodness. And then I need to look up how many kids Darnell has. Hold on, let me get right back to you. Okay, so it might be 4 to 5 kids, okay? Even Google doesn't really know, because a lot of these kids are just unnamed. So in real life, I would not advise a woman, or man for that matter, to take on people with so much baggage. But the heart wants what the heart wants. Sometimes you just want to be with the person who knows you, who's seen you through ups and downs, who sees all of the layers of your onion and the colors of all of your emotions and everything. Sometimes it's just, I don't want to say easier, but sometimes the heart just wants to be with a person who knows a person's full life story, the ins, the outs. Some people just don't want to start over or have to explain to a new person all of their trauma, all of their hurt. Sometimes you might just want to go back to your first love, or go back to a person who feels like your friend the most. So an example of Keisha and Emmett, Darnell and Jada, they're prime examples of that. And now I'm going to talk about some characters that I absolutely loved throughout the show. Every time they come on the screen, I get happy, or they are the reasons that kept me intrigued or wanting to watch the show. So let's get into it. So let's be honest, The Chi was never the same after season 1. I am so upset that Jason Mitchell, Brandon, played by Jason Mitchell, right, was fired from The Chi in 2019 because of the allegations of inappropriate behavior on set and misconduct, from co-stars such as Tiffany Boone. I am so mad at that. And I think that after this year, Jason's life just was not the same. He's a phenomenal actor who brought a lot of life to the screen, but we just can't accept misconduct like this, right? I think he also got into, if I'm not mistaken, like a lot of alcoholism, acting reckless on other sets, and I I was really sad. I wanted to see what was going to become of him being a chef. And I think he brought a portion of the show that wasn't so much about struggle, even though of course he had struggles and challenges and grief that he was dealing with. He still brought just a type of light to the show, and I just always what would have wonder, right? What would have become of his career if he just didn't start acting wild and reckless? Like, why? Why would you do this to your career? And the show, even though it finally picked its momentum back up after Brandon was gone, it just didn't feel the same anymore. Now, let me talk about Miss Lynn Whitfield. Who does not love Lynn Whitfield? I don't think Lynn Whitfield acts at all. I think Lynn Whitfield just gets to be her fabulous, classy, sassy self. Okay, so her character as Alicia just has so much heart, so much sass. I just loved seeing her on the screen. I'm glad that the Shy in general brought back in the last two seasons just like a lot of OGs, a lot of OG characters that we love seeing from other shows, right? Like Felicia Rashad and Kadeem Hardison. Felicia Rashad, of course, who does not love Claire Huxtable? And I appreciated her moment on speaking about interracial relationships and being sassy and calling out, some of the characters of the show. Her daughter, the preacher. It was just, I think seeing her in all her excellence. She's a very classy lady, a lady that's straight to the point. I believe Felicia Rashad will cuss you out, but with class, right? Kadeem Hardison, I love the light that he has brought to the show as a professor trying to get Bakari out of the streets, pushing him to get a scholarship. I like seeing OG characters come onto a show. I like seeing, sometimes you groan and complain when new characters come onto the show, but when they're new old characters, if you know what I mean, you're like, oh, this is interesting, seeing the new school with the old school. I love to see it. Okay. He does not need an introduction, but I'll introduce him. Curtis Cook, also known as Duda. Okay, so Duda, I put in that category of the likable villain. Of course, he was wreaking havoc all over Chicago, okay? He was as dirty can come, has so many bodies to his name, but undeniably, when he came onto the screen, he lit it up. Now, you hated all the destruction he was causing, but you kind of hated to see him go in a way where, you're watching a show and it's a couple where it's like a will they, won't they thing. You're just questioning things. You're eating it up. You're like, who's going to take him out? How is he going to go? And I was upset that we didn't get to see the satisfaction of Alicia, taking him out. That just made me so frustrated. A lot of things made me frustrated, but Curtis Cook, Duda, he was suave. He was very old school, had a lot of finesse. He was just emotional, ruthless at the same time. But sometimes there's characters that you hate to love, you love to hate, and he is a prime example of that. I hope I'm not butchering his last name, but Alex R. Hibbert. Kevin. I adored Kevin. Once I saw that he was leaving the show in season 6, I was heartbroken, because let's talk about it. The friendship between Kevin, Papa, and Jake is one of the reasons why I watched the show. I was interested in seeing how these young boys would progress in life and who they would come in, just based on their friendship alone at how young they were when they started the show. We could have many more seasons, we could have taken it past college years. Who knows? Shy could have probably 52 seasons. I'm glad it won't be having that. But when I found out that he was leaving, one of the films he wanted to move on to was Good Burger 2. Now, don't get me wrong, the original Good Burger, hilarious, funny, pop culture staple. But I don't know if Good Burger 2 or the other project that he was in catapulted him anywhere. I understand that probably as an actor, you just want growth. You want to try new things, but I want to see actors in many projects that will just keep helping them rise to the top. So seeing Alex, aka Kevin, on the screen was just phenomenal. He had a lot of life, a lot of heart, and you really wanted to see who he would become. He had a very independent mindset. A lot of times he was very sassy to his mother, and you got mad. You're like, boy, if you don't stop getting slick, getting smart. But that's why you really ended up loving the Shy, because of the relatability. We know that teenagers can be angsty. We know they can pop off at the mouth a lot of times. So I just missed seeing Kevin on the show for sure. And of course, Yolanda R. Ross, also known as Jada. She was definitely a staple on the show, a maternal figure, a character of just a lot of strength. I think she really started growing on me, although I was very upset that Jada ended up getting with that 26-year-old masseuse who ended up being Emmett's friend. Like, that was wild. I'm like, Jada, you trying to be like Stella got her groove back, which really tripped me out. But I think that she was a powerful figure on the show. She was a glue. She on the show, one of those characters that you just love to see on the screen. And can we talk about it? I don't want to say too many things, get too shady, but I do also like how over time her style progressed on the show. Okay, we saw where it started, and then in like the later seasons, I'm like, okay, Jada, she just looked beautiful, looked stunning. She had a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight, and I was happy, forced to see her on the screen with the love of her life, Darnell. Happy to see her be a mom, help her, happy to see the women's circle on the show evolve and all of these things. So I really enjoyed seeing Jada on my screen, how loving she was, how forgiving she was. And once again, spoiler alert, I am very sad that she's gone. Even though we knew it was coming, it was obvious that it was going to happen. It's sad to see one of the strongest characters on the show go, and the Shy is famous for that. Either people getting fired, people getting axed, if you know what I mean, people getting taken out, if you will. I'm like, all right. Some of the characters can go, but all of them, I don't know. So I'm really curious to see what will become of season 8. And then finally, of course, y'all know that Jacob Lattimore is a great character on The Shy. Emmett, played by Jacob Lattimore, is great. Even though, he had to grow a lot, and once again, he's a player from the Himalayas with a lot of baby mamas and a lot of drama. I love that he became a businessman. He became a man who took care of his family. I hope that he marries Keisha. If he doesn't marry Keisha, sorry, the final season, what in the world, Lena Waithe, what in the world, why wouldn't you have that happen? So there are some people who irritate you. You want them to do better, but nonetheless, you know that they're a phenomenal actor. If you feel impassioned about a character, whether you love them or hate them, then you know that the actor or the actress is doing a really great job. But yeah, Jacob Lattimore he just lights up the screen. Love to see it. So yeah, shout out to Lynn Whitfield, Felicia Rashad, Kadeem Hardison, Curtis Cook, Alex R. Hibbert, Yolanda R. Ross. And I wish I could shout out Jason Mitchell, but you know, we can't accept that type of misconduct. But I had to be honest about the fact that, yeah, just you became heartbroken after season 1, saying that he got fired from the show, understanding the reasons why. You feel bad for the victims, and you're just like, yeah, what could his career have become? You just don't know. You hate that happened, you know, kind of like just talent wasted. And then there's a lot of other people like on the Shy Bakari. There's some people that you just don't really like their character, but at the same time you understand that. I will say that there are a lot of phenomenal actors and actresses on the Shy. Most people on the show definitely hold their weight. You see that they were given an opportunity and then they took it to the upper level, and they make for a true TV classic. So, or they help contribute in a true TV classic. And now, finally, I'm going to talk about the moments that frustrated me the most in the Shy, blew my mind, and made me mad enough to say, okay, it needs to end. So I'm going to roll through these things pretty quickly, but obviously Brandon dying and Jason Mitchell just messing up in life, period, pissed me off. Gemma's character annoyed the life out of me. She was messy in love triangles, just controversial, just doing the most. She, like Dom, just felt like one of those random messy characters to me. Like, and once again, maybe that speaks to how amazing of an actress the actual actress is. The fact that I could feel so impassioned and annoyed at the same time. Gemma's character just pissed me all the way off. Okay, I also really disliked Shad and Alicia being a couple. Seeing Jason Weaver and Lynn Whitfield kiss made me go blah, right? Like the guy from Smart Guy, young Simba, I just, guy on Chingy Tracks with Miss Lynn Whitfield, I'm like, ew, I just do not promote age gaps like that ever. Like it kind of messed me up. I was like, why does this have to be a thing? I know that Alicia's character was supposed to be a character who just, you know, did whatever she wanted, played by no one's rules, all under a classy facade, right? But oh my goodness, I was not happy to see that. And it just didn't feel organic. It just felt forced. I was like, ew. All right, so a big writing pitfall, right? Why was Keisha's mom not around for very important moments? Your child has gone through so much drama. She's having a baby, but you ride off into the sunset with Brett and just never come back. Are they going to have her come back in season 8? Because it makes sense. And now that a maternal figure to Keisha and to everyone really is gone now, I need mama to come back. Even though for different reasons her character was irritating to me, she just needs to be around. A woman's mother needs to be around if she's still alive. Bring her back. I don't know if it's not in the budget any longer, but come on, make it make sense. Also, Emmett, while I love his character because Jacob Lattimore is obviously a phenomenal actor, Emmett having so many baby mamas always pissed me off. When people just procreate willy-nilly and they just reckless with it, it just pisses me off in real life. So just on the show, you have to imagine that I was irritated. But I guess the women were like, he fine though, so I'm gonna deal with whatever. Women have higher standards. Now I gotta slow it down for this one. Rosalind, right? For a long time, I forgot her name. I just want to call her Candy, Duda's wife. Um, why was she the one to take Alicia out? It's just, she is another random character on the show where I was just like, do y'all love each other? Do you just accept him being with other women because he has money? Like, you got a lot of stuff over him that you could snitch about, so y'all deal with each other. Like, what is it? She was the most random character ever because they weren't separated, still very married. It just did not feel satisfying for her to be the one to pull the trigger. Was it unexpected? Absolutely, but it just was not satisfying. The Shy, once again, is always always the show that's doing the most random things. I just don't understand. I wanted Lynn Whitfield to stay until the final season. I did not want her to go. Okay? Another thing that made me mad, that made me, question the writing and feel as if the writing is just very messy. Why would Keisha and Tiff have their babies on the same day? Y'all couldn't separate the pregnancies or due dates like a couple months apart. Why would you do this? I understand that the Shy is ending, so you have to expedite a lot of things, but we could have had like some words on the screen that said, 3 months later or whatever, and then Keisha or Tiff, whatever order you wanted to have it in, had their babies. What in the world? Giving birth on the elevator. It's just so dramatic. I was like, why did this have to happen on the same day? So the baby's gonna have the same birthday. More messiness, more love triangle BS. It's just crazy. And then finally, I was so mad that Shad and Victor were an accessory to the crime, because it's like, Vic, you're more street smart than this. You knew not to listen to Shad. Why would you do that? You've been to jail. You've been in the streets. You know the codes. Why? There's no gloves. There's no nothing. You just... And then on her white couch, all that blood was I the only one mad that they laid her bloody body on that beautiful white couch? I'm sorry. It's just, it's a show where you can just never breathe. You can never have a moment of happiness for the characters. There's always drama. There's always sadness. It's just an example of throwing everything in a pot and seeing how it comes out. You ever have someone put so many different seasonings together that all these seasonings kind of just overpower the food and it's no longer good anymore? Now, I will admit that The Shy does an excellent job of leaving you on the edge of your seat, but sometimes you just got to let a show breathe, which is why all the messiness, all of the love triangles, all of the taking out different characters that were just a staple of the show. Yeah, I'm like, that's why The Shy, because I feel like if The Shy went on for many more seasons, they were just going to keep throwing in random stuff for years and years to come, and we need a break, okay? We need a break. But I am grateful for what The Shy brought to the screen. Like I said, there were some things within The Shy that it just promoted a sense of normalcy for lifestyles that should not be honored, right? Let's be honest about that. But we got to see some amazing actors and actresses on the screen. And then once again, what I love the most about The Shy is that the characters were very relatable. It's all about community. We know people like this, right? But we have to be honest that blackness is not a monolith. Sometimes we need to see new stories, new characters. There's just so much about Black life that can be honored, celebrated, highlighted. It's not saying that like we have to exactly have another Cosby Show where, the people on the show are wealthy and their life is completely normal, because just the human condition, right? we go through ups and downs, and it's okay to highlight that. But sometimes I'm like, I just want things to be a little different. A lot of struggle, love, a lot of street life, a lot of this is being encouraged in a lot of these shows. And I'm like, while that can be reality sometimes, let's keep it real, sometimes we just need to see different stories represented. And on that note, this is Slept on Shay signing off from Speak Your Soul Sessions. Let me know if there are other things within the Shy that you would like me to cover and discuss. This video is not exhaustive. There are so many things that could be talked about within the Shy, but once again, it's been on for 7 seasons, about to enter into its 8th season, so it was very hard to cover all of the things that I really wanted to talk about. But if there's a couple you want me to focus on, an element of the show you want me to focus on, go ahead and drop that in comments below. Also, if there's another show that you would like me to watch and analyze it from a love perspective, like analyze the relationships in the show, go for it. When Forever, the 2nd season, comes out, I believe I'm going to talk about that. There's so many shows that I can cover and discuss, but just let me know if there's other shows you want me to talk about. My only ask is that the show is not more than 3 seasons in, because it's going to, take a lot to catch up or whatever. But just let me know your thoughts. Let me know what frustrated you about the Shy. Let me know some things that excited you about the Shy. Let me know if you could take it for another couple of seasons. Let me know if you do not agree with some of my hot or maybe even unpopular takes. But yes, I hope that you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be in the world. And also, don't forget to like the channel, comment below whatever you want to comment, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and please hit the notification bell so that you never miss a session from Speak Your Soul Sessions. We also have a Facebook page that you could follow too. All you have to do is type in Speak Your Soul Sessions to Facebook and you'll see it. And thank you so much for watching and listening.